Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum class. Welcome to English grade 8. I hope students that you're doing well. Today we are going to talk about the sentence patterns and how we can construct sentences according to these patterns that are already established so that we can write better and speak according to the grammatical rules. So this is our very first lecture of Unit 10. This is a poem called Mother Earth Weeps. I hope that you have read it very well. Now, let's talk about the students' learning outcome today. We have two learning outcomes. First one is analyze and construct sentences using the sentence patterns and structures learned in earlier classes. We already have some knowledge about making a sentence and what are the things or parts that are there in our sentences. So we need to use that understanding and understand the sentence patterns. Then we are going to talk about tenses. We use all types of tenses correctly in speech and writing. Now, we will deal with these two learning outcomes respectively. Let's get started with the first one. Here is your vertical linkage, dear learners, and for the brainstorming session, I would like you to recognize the basic elements that we have in a sentence. We have a subject and a predicate in the sentence. And further, if we divide it, we can find verb, objects, indirect and direct objects, and complements as well. So here in this brainstorming session today, you have to identify the subject, verb, and object from the sentences. Let's understand the first one, which has already been done for you. She holds a flower bouquet. What is our subject in this sentence? The subject is someone for which we are giving information or someone who is performing an action for which we use our verbs. So here, she holds a flower bouquet. She is our subject. Then we know that to hold something, holding or holds is our verb. This is an action. And what is she holding? What is the object that is receiving this action? It is a flower bouquet. So flower bouquet is our object. Object is anything that is receiving the action of the subject. So these things are related. Now, students, what you're supposed to do is take a minute and solve the remaining sentences. Find out the subject, the verb, and the object in these sentences. All right, I hope that you have done it and you have enjoyed this brainstorming session. Now, let's talk about these different patterns. According to them, we can make or construct different sentences. So these are some basic patterns. First one, we have SV. It is subject and verb. So any sentence that includes a subject and a verb is following the pattern SV. Then we have SVO, subject, verb, and object, subject, verb, and indirect object, and also direct object. Then we have your subject, verb, object, and C stands for complement, which the part of the sentence that completes our sentence and makes it logical and it makes sense. Then we have SVA, which means subject, verb, and adjective. Now, adjective, we know it's a part of speech that actually modifies our subject, our noun or pronoun. And this adjective will work as predicate adjective because we know that basically a sentence has subject and the rest of the part is the predicate. So adjective here will serve as the predicate. So that's why we call it predicate adjective. So these are the sentence patterns. Now let's learn them one by one using examples. The first one is very basic. In the example, we have done. Now, who is performing the action? The pronoun we. It is a plural pronoun. Then we have the verb have done. So it means that this sentence pattern is SV. Next one, we have our subject, verb, and object in our example. What have we done to our Mother Earth? Now, what is the subject who has done the action or for which the verb is used? It is we. Then have done is our verb. And for which thing are we using our object? We are using it to our Mother Earth. So we have done something to what? To the object, which is our Mother Earth. So this is how you can see an example of subject, verb, and object. Now, similarly, we have another pattern, subject, verb, and indirect object, and then your direct object. Let us show Mother Earth our care and dedication. Us is the subject, showing or to show something is the verb. And what are we showing indirectly? Mother Earth. But what are we showing? What should we do? Our care and dedication, this is our direct object. And next one, we have subject, verb, object, complement. You look at the rivers, streams, seas and lakes, black with dirt waste, without seas. You is our subject, look is our verb, and at the rivers, streams, seas and lakes, these are our object. And the rest of the sentence is black with dirt, waste without seas. This is complement because it is completing our sentence and it is making sense. Next one, we have our subject, verb, and noun. So it means we have to have a subject, verb, and a noun. And the noun, just like in the previous example, it will work as a predicative noun. She needs our care and loving protection. She is our subject, needs is the verb, and protection, which we know is an abstract noun, and that's how we end it with a noun. So SVN, this is your sentence pattern, and by using this you can create any sentence and that would be totally correct. Next one, we have our subject, verb, and adjective. Subject is mountains, object is the verb is actually denuded, and then we have seldom, which shows us quality of our subject. So this is an example of your SVNA, subject, verb, and adjective. And adjective will serve as the predicate. It will serve as the rest of the sentence and it is directly linked with our subject. Now, Students, we have learned all these different sentence patterns, and I hope that now you can recognize them easily. Let's do this classroom activity where I'll do the first one with you, and then by pausing the video, you have to solve these on your notebook and write the correct answers. Number 1, Anya and Mariam are nice girls. So what do we have? We have our subject and our adjective. Nice is an adjective. So it means we have our subject, verb and adjective. Now what kind of verb do we have? We have an auxiliary verb, a helping verb, are. So Anya and Mariam are nice girls. The sentence pattern for this sentence is S, V and A. Because we have subject, we can have two subjects. We had our verb in the form of are, which is a helping verb, and then we have the adjective nice. So S, V, A, this is our sentence pattern. So in the same way, you can recognize and choose the best answer from these multiple choice questions. Now, these are 10 of them. And now students, I hope that you are very well aware that we are going to cover tenses in this lesson as well. And you know that there are present, past and perfect tenses with variations like present simple, present perfect, continuous and perfect continuous. Now, let's recall all these different tenses, the knowledge of tenses, and then solve this classroom activity. All right, the first one says, choose the correct form of verb to complete the following sentences. Now we are going to choose the correct form of verb because they are verb tenses. In the poem, the rivers, streams, seas and lakes, black with dirt and waste without seas. So we know that we have plurals over here, rivers, streams, seas and lakes. The correct answer, it can be are. Yes, they are black with dirt and waste without seas. Now, you can solve the remaining MCQs by yourself, test your knowledge of tenses and then verify it through your instructor. Now, moving on to the homework which we have for today. You have to make sentences using the present simple tense to describe various actions or facts related to the environment, just like in the poem. Share these sentences with others or discuss them in a group to reinforce your understanding of the test. Now, you are going to actually use present simple tense and stick to that sense specifically. Here goes your worksheet, dear learners, and here you have to read these short sentences and identify the sentence pattern. It is, all of them are given in the word bank over here, and you have to put them correctly. And if you have still confusion about anything, you can go back to the sentence patterns with their description and examples which we have covered, note them down, actually memorize them by heart, and then perform this worksheet. These resources are given for your understanding. You can test your knowledge using the worksheet over here. You can get them in the description of the video. I hope, students, that now you are clearly very much aware that in order to create sentences, we are actually going to understand the sentence patterns and then construct sentences accordingly. And also you need to practice your tenses as well. I'll see you in the next video lesson. Allah Hafiz.